Hi everyone, it's Ali here from Alison M. Wood, and my aim with these audios is to help you build your business with joy. So today we're talking about, are you making these 9 mistakes online and losing money in the process? Because all of them are going to have an impact on your business. Now, there's no judgment with any of these because, to be quite honest, I've made all of them as I've gone along. We all do these things from time to time, but bringing in awareness to them can sometimes help us to see where we could be doing things a little bit differently, and helping us to see, basically how we can make progress faster. And that's what we all want to do when it comes to marketing our businesses, particularly online. Okay, so mistake number 1. Now that is, maybe you have a website, but you're not really taking the extra steps that will help you to get found online. So you've got your website set up, whether you built it yourself, somebody else built it for you, that's all, fine and dandy. But are you actually doing those extra things that will help your website get discovered on Google and also get discovered by more people in your audience? It's not with any of these things, build it and they will come. It is about making sure that your visibility is high and that you're giving yourself the best chance possible to get discovered. Now, you can do that through some fairly simple steps. For example, one step is to make sure that you've added yourself to Google Webmaster Tools and that you've added a sitemap. Now, that is not super complex to do, but it's such a small step, and once it's done, it's done. And it means that Google will come and crawl your site. Everything that you put on there, fresh content, your blog posts, etc., they then have a chance of showing up in search. Things like some simple search engine optimization things that you can do, the keywords that you choose to use on your site and in your blog post. Now, if all that sounds kind of mumbo jumbo, don't panic. You can do a little bit of research. There's things on my site that can help you with that. But don't sort of rule those things out. Don't think, oh, that's beyond me, because believe me, when I started out, I had no tech experience. I mean, yes, I used Excel and Word and things at work. I certainly didn't know how to set up a website. Certainly didn't know anything about any of these things. Now, I'm not saying you have to go into the same level probably that I've gone into, because over the years that knowledge has grown, but some very key basic steps will have a big impact on how you get found, the number of people looking at your site. So number 2 is making the look of your website more important than usability. Now, I am not saying don't worry about how it looks. We all want to make it the best it can be in terms of design. We all have very different ideas on what makes good design, what makes bad. Some people are very tuned into that. Some people are very visual people, others less so. But however nice you want to make it design-wise, do not let that impede people using the website. Now, what do I mean by that? If you make the site too busy, too many colours going on, too many fancy fonts, too much sort of bling as someone arrives at the site, it makes it very difficult for the person who's using your site to take in the information that's there, to understand all that great info that you've got on offer, your wonderful blog posts, your great products and services. The clearer you can make things on a website, the more white space you can put in there, surprisingly, the clear legibility of the writing. So always have a white background. I mean, you can have certain sections that are coloured, but like, for example, on the background of your blog posts, don't put like black with white writing and things like that. If there's a lot of text for people to read, you can break it up with some sort of colour blocks and things like that, but don't make the overall reading of it too difficult. People's eyes need to be able to scan down the page easily, so give them nice headlines, key points that break things up, lots of white space. I tend to always have like a black font or a dark grey font on white, so it's easy to read. And don't make it too small. There's been a fashion, I think, in blogs and websites where the font is very, very thin and very, very small. And let's be honest, not all of us have amazing eyesight. The older we get, the less amazing it is. Also, people are often reading on very small phones. Now, often those fonts look better actually on smaller phones because they somehow stand out more. But if someone's on like a big desktop, that font can be very difficult to read. And if something's difficult to read, let's be honest, we're not going to read it. We're just going to click away. Also, with colours and things like that, choose a palette of 2 or 3 colours. Choose 2 fonts, make it easy, so like a nice header font and then a body font. You don't want loads of different fonts, you don't need flashy things all over the place. If you've got a sidebar on your blog, don't make it too much there. The simpler the better often works, as with most things in life, let's be honest. Also, think about what you call things in your navigation, your menu at the top of the site. I think sometimes we can all try and be a bit clever there, so we want it to be different, we want it to stand out, but people coming to your site will not necessarily know your quirky sense of humour or the way you approach things. And also Google itself wants to know what that page is about, and if it says about Alison, that's a lot easier for Google to understand than if I call it the many faces of Ali or something. I know that's a bit silly, but it's like, be as straightforward so when people come they can see, work with me, about me, contact me. Yes, it is nice to have those different things at the top, those things that set you apart, but weigh up whether the people arriving are going to understand that. Mistake number 3, letting perfection stand in the way of progress. Now, we can do this in all sorts of different ways, different occasions for different things, particularly things like setting up a website or writing your first blog post or setting up your social media page. It is so easy to fall into the trap of tweaking forever, or never even getting started because you think you have to have the perfect website, the perfect layout, the perfect text before you get moving. Something that is not out there in the world is doing you no good whatsoever. Also, you will only start to understand what's working well and what's working not so well once it's been out there a while. So you can always tweak at that point. But a lot of us, not everybody, but many of us get caught up in that perfection loop and feeling like if we don't launch something that is absolutely perfect, we might as well not just put it out at all, and it'll just stay in our heads. Moving forward, doing the best you can. Obviously, you're not going to put something out there that's just, completely shoddy, but doing the best you can is not the same as getting it 100% right, and you can never get something 100% right anyway. So move forward. If you want to launch a course, move forward with that first iteration of the course. You can always tweak, you can always come back, but the most important thing is to get it out there, to get it launched. Mistake number 4, I call this doing all the things with a capital A-double-L on all. Now, maybe this is often a mistake we make early on when we're getting set up, and we try and set up like 17 different social media platforms. We're worrying about whether we should be learning TikTok, and we're not making as much progress on that when we're actually only posting on Instagram once every 3 weeks. Our minds are jumping ahead to what the next big thing is. Should I be doing TikTok? Should I be doing Snapchat? Should I be doing whatever the next thing is, rather than choosing one or two platforms and really, really going for those platforms, okay? And making sure that you're consistent about it. Also, you don't have to go off into a million different directions with your business. Like, for example, sometimes I talk to people and they're talking about setting up their website. So, we're talking about that, we're getting that done, but they are already worrying about something that's like 3 months down the line, whether that's paying their taxes and are they going to have enough, or whether it's, doing their first webinar and they're worried about how that's going to go. The thing is, just do the thing that's in front of you, one step at a time. Yes, you might need to multitask a little bit because when you're marketing online, there's lots of things to be doing, but don't let your mind jump ahead too far. Work on the thing that you're doing now, get that done, and then move on to the next thing. Mistake number 5, and this is being flaky. So this is all about being half-hearted about something. We've all done it, we all still do it, we're always going to do it. But try to choose things that you want to do. And if you're going to do it, really, really go for it. So let's just say, take social media as an example. That's why I'm saying don't split yourself into loads of different directions with loads of different platforms and then only do them very inconsistently. You would be better to choose one platform and really, really work on that, really post regularly on that, really interact with people on that. Let's just say you choose Facebook, or you choose Instagram, or you choose Pinterest, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter, YouTube, as long as you are really working that consistently. Now, you can always add in other social media platforms later on, but being flaky about something is setting it up but then not really doing anything with it. And there's little point in that. You may as well not have it. I've always been a bit like that with Twitter, because I just really didn't feel Twitter. You have to have a lot of conversations on there, I feel like, to get anywhere. You have to be forever, replying to people. Now, some people love that, but that just isn't me in terms of the time that I have available to me. But I still always have Twitter there in the background, but really I would be better off just to almost just close it down, and think I'm not. And now the decision I've made is I've kind of left them there for the future if I ever need them, but I do not work on them, I do not post to them. And that would be a much better lesson if I'd learned it early on and, from the very beginning, focused in on one or two platforms. Now, it's not just social media, I'm talking about anything. If you're building a list, be consistent about creating something that you can give away for free to build your list, and getting it out there in front of people, going into Facebook groups and asking, telling people about what you've got and seeing if they'll sign up. It could be about blogging, it can be about anything. But the main thing is, if you're going to go for it, don't be flaky about it, super go for it. Mistake number 6, making it difficult to buy from you. So it takes a lot sometimes to summon up the courage to actually put our thing out into the world, to ask people to purchase it, whether that's products or services. And I think how that comes across sometimes is that we sort of subconsciously damage ourselves by not being super clear on how to purchase from us. So if you've got a sales page, don't just put one little buy now link or button right down the bottom, tiny little button. Make it easy to buy from you as people scroll down the page. Maybe a couple, 3, it depends how long the sales page is. At the top, have a short intro and then a buy now button. And then a bit further down, another buy now button, and then another one, and at the bottom another one. Obviously, if it's not that long a page, then not that many. But don't just put one little buy now button. Sometimes people don't even put buttons. They put just like a link or something. And that is easily going to get missed. Or, for example, they have a website and it's not clear how you can work with that person. be super loud and proud about signing up for discovery calls, or these are my packages, or even if you don't want to put prices on there, this is how you get in touch if you're interested in me doing your taxes or whatever it is. Make it really obvious to people. That is not forcing things in front of people. The people that are interested want to know how they can find out about working with you, so make it easy for them to do that. Mistake number 7. And that is not being authentic in your business. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean you have to share everything about you. It doesn't mean you have to talk about your private life. It doesn't mean any of those things. But for many of us, whatever type of thing that we sell, unless we've got a business that is more sort of a group effort, but even then there are individuals within that group. You know, I see some really successful small businesses online that have got employees. There's multiple people working there. And I find the ones that do really well are the ones that kind of throw a spotlight on their business. They show the people that work there, they show the process, all those kind of things. Now, if you're working alone, you're a solopreneur, as the buzzword is now, the only real thing that sets your business apart is going to be you, because there are other people that sell what you offer. There are other people that do taxes, do plumbing, make handcrafted baby dresses, build websites, do VA support. There are always going to be other people. Now, there's going to be shades of expertise within that. Obviously, there's going to be, you might create something that really sets you apart. But still, in the marketing of your business, I think bringing more of you to the table is going to help you to stand out. Also, it's much easier to market when you're being authentic, when you're just talking in your normal voice. I don't mean your normal voice as in your actual voice. I mean just how you talk to people, how you put yourself across, your humour, your values, the things that you support, the things that you stand against. Now, you don't have to go into massive detail on all of those things, only what works for you, only what's right for you, but bring that authenticity to your business because it will help you to stand out. Mistake number 8, not being consistent. Now, this does tie in with the other ones, like spreading yourself too thin and being flaky, but consistency is often about not failing at things. We're not going, I'm failing at this, I'm just not being consistent. It's often about overwhelm. We have too much else going on. Maybe that's things outside our business, or maybe it's trying to do too much in our business. So pare back, commit to one thing. Maybe it's 2 Instagram posts a week, or maybe it's 1 blog post a month. I'm not saying you have to do like just one thing, but within the things that you are going to do, the things that you are going to commit to, so say your social media, your blog, your newsletter, and also tie those things together. So let's just say you write say you're a blogger, okay, so the main focus of your business is your blog. You could write 1 blog post a week, so you don't have to be doing multiple ones, and then you send that out to your newsletter. You take parts of it and small elements of it, quotes from it, sections from it that you share on social media. Sometimes you bring people back to the blog, but sometimes that content stands alone. So you can take your one piece of content and turn that into a week's worth, or sometimes a 2 weeks worth, or a month's worth even, depending how often you're going to do the blogging, and depending what type of business you have. Obviously, a blogger is going to be blogging more than someone that is sharing information because they want someone to come and check out their aromatherapy business. So you've got to figure out what's important for you in the direction that you're going, but use that content in multiple ways. If, for example, you create videos for YouTube, you can take little snippets, you can take quotes from them and share that across your social media platforms, not just that week or that month, but going forward. Turn that into evergreen content, that you can keep putting in front of people, because someone that joins your social media today is not going to know what you put out 3 or 6 months ago. So once you've decided on what you're going to do that consistently until it's second nature, until you can expand if you want to. So if you're just going to do 1 blog post a month, for example, do that for a few months and send a newsletter alongside it until that is second nature. And then you think to yourself, that's really helping, that's really getting my website more visible, that is really getting me some more customers. It would be great if I could do 2 blog posts a month. But I think many of us try and do like 4 blog posts a month. We fail at that, we fall in a big heap, and then we think, well, just might as well give up now. Whereas if we started out more slowly, it's like losing weight, isn't it? If you go, right, I'm going to cut back to however many calories, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a day, you quickly fall off that bandwagon because it's not sustainable. So you have to make small changes, small tweaks, small things that are going to be consistent to help you to get where you're going. Probably a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. And mistake number 9, taking a path that isn't right for you. So you'll hear a lot of things said, you'll hear advice from me, you'll hear advice from other people about tips, and a lot of those things can be super helpful, because let's be honest, we all learn from other people. The things that I've learnt from what I've read in books or online, or from what I've heard from people. I'm not saying you're taking that and being the same. You're putting your own you're putting it into your own context, you're putting your own spin on it. But if you sew babies' dresses, at one point someone's taught you how to sew, someone's taught you how to create that baby's dress, but then you put your own spin on it. You have maybe your own patterns, or you source really amazing vintage materials, or whatever it is. But as the saying goes, there's nothing new under the sun. We're all doing sort of revisions and iterations. It's very rare that there's something entirely new. But within that, as you're growing your business, as I've said, you're going to learn from other people, but you don't always have to take on board something that isn't right for you. If someone says to you, the only way to grow your business is to do 3 Facebook Lives a week, and you think to yourself, there's no way I'm going to do a Facebook Live. First of all, don't always rule things out. You can always try things. But if that's just not right for you, or like if you don't really enjoy writing, but you do enjoy making videos, go for that. There is nothing right or wrong. The things that you're going to do consistently, the things that are going to work for you the best, are the things that you find that are most flow for you, easiest for you, the ones that you have the least resistance to. Yes, there might always be a little bit of resistance, let's be honest. We're not all like rushing out there thinking we're going to be amazing first time, so there will be some resistance. But if something feels easier, it's like things in life, we're naturally drawn to the things that are easier for us, that we enjoy doing. So make sure that whatever you're doing to promote your business, it falls into those flow-based areas, the ones that you like, you enjoy, and therefore you're more likely to do them. It's like, let's take it back to that exercise routine again. If you hate going to the gym, but you love walking, if your aim is to, get a bit healthier, to lose a bit of weight, it's more likely that you will go for a long walk every day than you will motivate yourself to get dressed up and go to the gym. You might love the gym and hate walking, in which case vice versa. I'm not saying there's any right or wrong there, same as in your business. There is no one way to promote your business. There is no one approach. The key things are the things we've talked about today, as in consistency and all those things, but within that you can choose what's right for you. So before I leave you, I'm just going to go over those again, just so we know what those 9 mistakes are, because they are going to be affecting your business, and they are going to lose you money and not help you to get new clients. So, mistake number one, having a website but not really taking the extra steps that will get you found. Mistake number two, making the look of your website more important than the usability. Mistake number three, letting perfection stand in the way of progress. Mistake number four, doing all the things, 17 different social media platforms, but only posting on them, 3 times a year. Mistake number five, being flaky and half-hearted about things. Mistake number six, making it difficult to buy from you. Mistake number seven, not being authentic and bringing your own voice to your business. Mistake number eight, not being consistent. And mistake number 9, taking a path in your business that isn't right for you. Remember, always flow-based. So if you need help with any of the more practical things within what we've talked about today, you might be interested in my Get Seen course, which is 28 days to get more website traffic and raise your visibility online. If you want to check that out, there's a link below this audio. If you want to jump on my list so you hear about my next audio as it goes live, then head to alisonmformarywood.com/audio. Again, there's a link under this. I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.